Hey everyone, welcome back with G.M.Spectre Romhack. Today we're going to play Virtual Pro Wrestling Salvo, and this is a ROM hack based off of WCW NWO Revenge, made by RagDas, and this adds some WWF guys. As you can see, today we are going to play as The Rock. And of course there's also Stone Cold, Undertaker, Kane, Shawn Michaels, and Mick Foley, as well as his Cactus Jack and Dude Love incarnations, his costumes. There's some guys like the Hardy Boys, Taka Michinoku, the Black Ninja, their costumes. The Japanese fictional wrestlers have been replaced by the real-life likenesses and a few other extra costumes. And then there's also Fake Sting. There's Fake Sting, Ric Flair, and Wrath, who are also unfinished characters in Revenge, who were added into Salvo as fully functioning characters. And finally, this also has rank grapple finishers for certain particular guys, like DDP has one, Sting and stuff does, and for all the guys that were meant to have it in WCW NWO Revenge, but it got cut, and then RagDas just gave it to all the WWF guys as well. So now that whole spiel is out of the way, as usual, it's time for the question of the day here. Now this one's a bit controversial, and I feel like I already know what the answer is anyway, considering what my audience is. But The Rock has been pretty controversial in recent times. I think especially like the last 2 years or so. Some more information has come out about him, and he's now pretty much like on the board of committees and almost the head of, pretty close to being like the head of the WWE. He's one of the biggest guys in charge, I believe, at this point. And there's also been a lot of stuff that's gone on with his movie sets, so, apparently he likes to pee in bottles and hand it to his assistants for them to take care of while he's on set. There's also just strange lies he tells. The one thing that is everybody, he says he's 6'5", and that's just a pro wrestling thing. I think he's like 6'3" or something like that. And a lot of people are like, man, that's weird, why are you doing that? And I mean, that for me, that's excusable because that's just pro wrestling, right? You add a few inches to your height and stuff. No big deal there. But I think there's a lot of people outside the business that don't really understand why he's saying that stuff. But that said, there's also, him inserting himself in the storylines as of late. I think it was last year people were speculating that The Rock tried to take Cody Rhodes' Royal Rumble win away from him and insert himself into the storyline and have him versus Roman Reigns for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania. Things kind of went south pretty quickly, and Cody Rhodes was inserted as the main guy again, and Rock turned heel and did all this cool looking stuff, some pretty great stuff as the boss, and then he started wearing like his $500 shirts in a way, but instead they were vests, which I think is really cool. And then, of course, there's, I think most people are really irritated about a storyline with John Cena. I think that was 2 years ago when he was the final boss. Now I'm thinking about it, because then there was the one where Cody won, the year after that. Then there was the whole thing with John Cena turning heel, and a lot of people say John Cena's heel turn going wrong was because The Rock inserted himself into it and then just didn't do anything. So my question of the day is, do you still have respect for The Rock? Do you still have the love? Do you still have that same admiration that you would during the Attitude Era, Alright. Yeah. Got our first victory in there, folks. Man, Sting, were you even trying? Alright, let's see who's the next chump we gotta take care of. The Giant. Well, it's the Big Slow. Don't worry, guys, I won't blame you if you want to take a piss break, because this guy sucks. Anyway, references aside, yeah. I don't know. I don't really care too much about the stuff that's going on with The Rock. I haven't watched the product recently. But I think it does sound like he's benefited a lot of storylines by being involved in them. I think this one, he said, I think even in an interview, he said he took himself out of it because he thought that the storyline shouldn't be about him. Yeah, I agree. I think just the thing that pissed people off was he says that, but then he still put himself in it to begin with. And then because he took himself out of it, it kind of ruined, you know, John Cena's whole heel turn, because it seemed like he was doing things for The Rock, and The Rock never showed up or gave any instruction or anything like that. And then now we have John Cena as a face. I gotta say, I mean, I didn't watch too much of John Cena's heel run, but man, he looked absolutely miserable the whole time. Like, just anytime you see John Cena's face, he just looked miserable. And it's really sad, man, to see like guys you grew up watching wrestling and stuff like that. And, you know, John Cena was a clean-cut, young-looking guy with a good physique, and now he's old. And, you know, I'm glad he's still moving up in life. He's still got passions. He's moving on to the next phase, which is Hollywood and stuff. But it's not as heartbreaking when, like, I first seen Cena come back after a while and he had the bald spot. But good lord, that was terrible. It's just always sad to see people you watch growing up getting old. John Cena's still in tremendous shape and all that stuff, but it's still just one of those things like him, Kurt Angle, even though Kurt Angle was always bald, you can see the wear and tear of aging as well as all the drugs that he took and stuff like that on him. But you know, I mean, it sounds like they're all doing pretty good at this point. Thankfully, when a lot of people exit the business, it seems like more and more now people are not, you know, experiencing any sort as much hardship as they did back in the day. Because honestly, you know, a lot of people, you know, would die very young in their 40s, 50s, you know, due to heart attacks or steroids or drug use or anything like that. So it's a good thing that that seems to be happening less and less in today's industry. Like 2009, I think, was kind of like the peak of that. The 2000s, I would say, because I mean, you had Lance Cade, you had Test. I think Lance Cade was only 29. Test was like 33 or something like that. Crash Holly, of course, in 2003, he had passed. I think he was like 33 or something like that as well. Just really sad. So you really hate to see people going in that way. Not to say we haven't had our fair share of tragedies. Obviously, there was Brody Lee. I mean, that was just something he couldn't help, unfortunately, you know. And he seemed like a really good guy and someone who was loved in the business. So, you know, it just kind of brings a tear to your eye, you know. But anyway, so it's just kind of like weird seeing, you know, the guys that you grew up with getting old. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, there is not the people's elbow set up in this game. But, I mean, it was so cool he added, like, the people's elbow, the actual elbow drop, even though it doesn't really do much. Let's see here. Looks like the Giants giving me some trouble. And I do try and mix up the costumes every once in a while. It's just with Salvo, sometimes they kind of revert back to default, so we'll see what happens. Damn, that was pretty crazy. Not usually good at reversing, but that was pretty awesome. Let's him. Holy shit, that's actually pretty awesome. Usually it's like you have to do the strong grapple thing, but that doesn't exist in Revenge, so it's just had to have the animation or something like that. But yeah, we got another one, folks. I don't really understand why, and after this, like, it was cool that they made it to where, like, everybody kind of had their own finishers and stuff, but with the Irish Whip specials in later games, but it really irritated me that it just looks like, it's kind of like this, right? In which, like, the strike is not just, it automatically goes into the fall away slam, he gets me in the grapple first, and it just, the flow just isn't there, you know what I mean? And that's how it is with, like, later Irish Whips finishers in the series and stuff. And honestly, I just feel like they could have just done what RagDas did here, and they could have made it to where it just has a different startup for those moves. You know what I mean? I know it won't always match up, but like they could have maybe tried to get some sort of universal animation in there that worked a little bit better. But, I mean, I don't know. It is what it is. I'm talking about a 25, you know, year-old plus game here. And Scott Hall, he's actually not messing around. Which I am playing on hard mode, by the way, just to let you fellas know. So I might get my butt smacked, my cheeks glued together, so just keep that in mind. I might end up being a Beano Max sandwich. Because he's actually giving me the business right here, I'm not going to lie. Tried to take out Scott Hall in quick succession, but Scott said that doesn't work for me, brother. Yeah, we're going to have to... Ooh, I thought he was going to grab me for a second. Alright, we're coming back a little bit. We're coming back. Don't count me out yet, fellas. Come on, come on. Gotta go back to the fundamentals. You know how it is. That's how hockey plays. Gotta go back to the fundamentals. Alright, this is not turning out so well. And if you were unaware too, so I guess Undertaker and The Rock. I've never seen the Undertaker one. I'm sure it's still in the files of WrestleMania 2000. Honestly, it's just I don't know what the ID would be because I've never gone into the game files. But I have seen the revenge style face for The Rock in WrestleMania 2000. I mean, like I made some Game Shark codes. Well, I shouldn't say I made them. Like I found them on like an old game facts forum, and somebody made a Rock face ring that I eventually later uploaded to YouTube and stuff, and it's this face on The Rock, which is pretty cool, but it's just kind of like weird to me. Look, it definitely looks pretty good, honestly. It definitely looks pretty good, honestly. It's just, like I said, it's more of a revenge style face, so it fits this game really well. The only issue is that, you know, obviously, like, they updated the faces on it. And I gotta say, I like the WrestleMania 2000 one a lot better. God damn, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. What I'm doing wrong here. If I could be serious for 1 minute. Okay, this is actually looking bad. I might actually end up at a Beano Max sandwich here. See, I'm trying to get back, you know, away from it real quick. It's not working out. Alright, come on, come on. Stall. You gotta stall. The major flaw in this game. God damn. Yeah, this is not going to come easy to me, folks. This is going to be a challenge all the way. If I can even make it all the way. God damn it. This is knuckin' fucks, man. For real. I can't even do nothing against this guy without him reversing me. That was actually pretty close. I really was almost a Beano Max sandwich on that one. I think the only reason I may have kicked out is because of the weird pin mechanic in this game. But I'm hurting. And I don't know. He hit me with a finisher, so. Honestly, if you were to take the pin mechanic out of this game, I feel like the health and durability of the wrestlers are overall much... Oh, yeah, there we go. Come on, Conan. Kick his ass for me, please. Come on, hurry up. What are you doing, you idiot? Oh, my God. Conan, you're on hard difficulty. Remember that. Kick his ass. All right, come on. Do something. Jeez. There we go. Fine. Alright. Looks like he came in at just the right time. He almost just kicked me. Great. I gotta say, something that I feel like doesn't get brought up enough in in Revenge is just the black void in the stage areas. I mean, I feel like, I don't know, it's weird to say, but there's just a lot of black at the top of these screens. A lot more so than most hockey games. I know that's a really weird thing, and you're probably wondering, like, what the hell am I even talking about? But just look at how much black is in the background there. And that's how it looks on the menus and everything, too. So black hair just kind of blends in. Jesus Christ. Let's see here. Can we get a quick pin? We cannot. Apparently Conan is a huge asshole in real life. I haven't really seen any particulars, but like I've seen like people ask like, hey, who's an asshole you've noticed in real life? And they've who's an asshole wrestler that you've met in real life? And apparently Conan is one of them. So I don't know. I have to wonder what the deal is with that. Apparently Jim Ross was on that list a lot too. Which is pretty crazy, but I guess it makes sense. I guess he's kind of like a grumpy old man. And I feel like there were a few other names. I guess I heard Stone Cold a few times, but some people have just chalked that up to his character. But he also did admittedly go and say that he went through a bad phase during the peak of his life. He was so paranoid about his spot. Led to a lot of other bad things he did. Like that was around the time, I'm sure, when you know, he had the domestic dispute thing with Deborah, unfortunately. So I don't know, that's just my assumption. Seems like a really nice guy at this point though. But then again, that's just kind of what you put out for the world to see, so you never know really. I think one of my favorites is just a picture of him. I think he's like walking out of a grocery store and he's wearing like flip-flops or something like that, holding a bag of groceries, and somebody said something like, when you hear they have a 2-for-1 can of whoop-ass salad or something like that. Well, we got Meng here. Gotta take out the toughest guy in the entire wrestling business here. Thankfully, we're family, so I think our nose is safe. In a lot of ways, I'm looking at that face more and more, and he kind of doesn't really resemble The Rock as much. And that's that. I mean, it's essentially a beta face, right? So they probably didn't put as much work into it that they would have if it were the final face, but you know, still, it's a really cool Easter egg that RagDas put out here, you know. And there's actually just a few Easter eggs. Like obviously the Wrath was built off of the Road Warriors from Virtual Pro Wrestling 64 when he was put into WCW NWO World Tour. So as an Easter egg to that, you know, he made the Road Warriors both alternate costumes for Wrath. And I don't know, I'm kind of on the fence on whether or not I'm going to do a playthrough with them, because I really can't stand tag team matches. And I don't know if I can even figure out who else would work for the Road Warriors, because to be able to play as them, you know, I'd have to be able to figure out who else has the Road Warrior masks, if anybody, and I don't know, it just might not be worth it for me. We'll have to see. Especially since, like, I respect the Road Warrior legacy, but I was never the biggest fan of them, because obviously they were way before my time, so. Gotta get those pin mechanics out of the way. Oh, and like I said, it feels like in this game, the actual superstar health meter and everything like that is actually, like, the health is lower than in most games. It's just that pin mechanic, because a lot of times you get the pin mechanic you know, out of the way, you can pin them and win the match before you actually get a finisher. But I'm sure you guys, if you've been watching the series, you would have seen that already a lot. Yeah, that's my new thing, folks. Get used to it. There's gonna be a lot of cheese out there. Oh man, we got, I was gonna say Booker T, but we got Stevie Ray. always wondered why Stevie Ray didn't really get any sort of other chance. Like, I know he was even like a commentator one time, WCW, and I guess he said he didn't want to go to the WWF because he thought that if he did, they would just have to be a dancing black dude, and that's what all the black dudes did and stuff like that. I don't know. I think there's a lot of wrestlers that got silly gimmicks and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, it was Grandmaster Sexay, Scotty Too Hottie, who had the dancing gimmick, of course. Even in WCW, there was Alex Wright and Disco Inferno, who had the goofy dancing gimmicks. Lance Storm had a weird, goofy dancing gimmick. So for him to just kind of like make it like, it's the black guys that did it and everybody did, like, that's not true. And again, I don't know. What do you guys think down below in the comments? You let me know. Do you think Vince has it out for black guys? You think he has something particular, for black guys, if you know what I mean? Craziest. Actually, no, well, I'm not going to bring that one up. There we go. We got our running back ramble on the way. Let's see here. Maybe if I hit him with one, I can put him away. I haven't been keeping track of the pin situation, though. I hope so, because it's a good chance if he isn't done, he's gonna have some sort of comeback. Ah, shit. That definitely didn't work for me, brother. I can tell you that much right now. But then again, I wasn't even getting like the count two. Now, something that I think a lot of people have also been waiting on for The Rock, to circle back to that other, what I was talking about at the beginning of the show, the beginning of the video. I think a lot of people, and they were expecting it this year, a lot of people were expecting that Cody Rhodes versus Rock feud, for Cody Rhodes to finally get his revenge on, the final boss, The Rock. And I don't know, I think that'd be a pretty interesting rivalry here. It's definitely got to be like a WrestleMania type thing. Although, then again, it could be a Survivor Series thing. I feel like until somewhat recently, I remember even like in 2010, Vince McMahon was considering just getting rid of Survivor Series entirely because the big events weren't happening there anymore. Gee, yeah. There's a small one for you guys. And it's just crazy to think that there's a universe out there where Survivor Series got replaced in 2010 or 2011 or whatever. I think it's because he also had bragging rights at that point, so that was the 7-on-7 one, and that was specifically, I think it was October or something like that too, and that was specifically like a Raw versus SmackDown thing as well. So I mean, yeah, if you have something like that, then you're gonna Survivor Series is gonna be pretty much useless. And it is weird. I wonder, it had to be in a direct response to like, all right, I don't want to get rid of Survivor Series, so we gotta get rid of bragging rights or something. It's such a weird thing that happened in that small pace of time. But I think later on in 2011. That the big match with The Rock returned and teamed up with John Cena. It was Never Before, Never Again, I think it was. Never Before, Never Again. And they took out the Awesome Truth. And it's just kind of crazy to think that at the time, The Miz and R-Truth as a tag team was like one of the biggest things at the time in the WWE. At least what the company considered. And this was serious R-Truth too. Well, somewhat serious. R-Truth, I heard that he turned into like Ron Killings or whatever. He's on a more serious run now. I don't know. I haven't heard anything else about him since then. So I don't know if he's even in the WWE still, but it sounds like he has one final run in him just like John Cena and stuff. So I don't know. Someone will have to keep me up to date, post the update as to what's going on with R-Truth at this point. which I don't know. It's too bad. I feel it. It's kind of like Bryan Danielson, right? When he was saying like how he's failed in WWE in 2010 and that Daniel Bryan is a loser and all this other stuff, but that Bryan Danielson is a real deal. I remember as a kid thinking like, because like it was supposed to be for the indie crowd, and like I watched him on NXT and stuff. I didn't know anything about his indie run or ROH, so when he said that, I'm like, what the hell is he talking about, Bryan Danielson? Like, is this a joke? Like, thinking like, oh man, this is just like supposed to be a funny promo or something like that. You know, and then I found out later that it was like Bryan Danielson on the indies, but like he just, honestly, I feel like most people didn't know that, so he just came across as a massive idiot. I feel somewhat similar to it. Like, obviously nowadays it's different. People are a lot more informed, but still, I would have. I think it would have been funny if I would have preferred if instead of just saying I'm Ron Killens or something. I forget exactly what he said, but he said Ron Killens is back. I think it would have been a lot better if he just said K-Quick is making his comeback. Or him, you know, saying my name is K. Now I'm about to make my comeback real quick. Something stupid like that. Oh god, now we got Booker T. Who in the hell is this guy? Of all the people to run out too, Booker T. This could be bad. There we go. I finally got the damn top rope toss. That's what I'm trying to do here. Does this even give me momentum now that I see it? God damn it, I was so close to finishing that too. God damn it. There's not really any winning in this situation. Oh, there's a win. I don't know how I'm going to get him out of the ring here. Alright, let's see here. Is this... No, it doesn't actually look like it contributes to momentum, so that sucks. That really does suck. I thought it did in, like... It definitely does in later WWF games, but... This ain't the WWF. It's where the big boys play. Let me get you, Booker T. Jeez, there we go. We got him now. He's getting out of the ring. Alright. It didn't even get me because I was in the middle of my second rock bottom, but it always really irritates me, the mechanic in this game where like the guys will get up, back up one more time and try and hit you with one more move. But thankfully, we're in the middle of a rock bottom, and that rock bottom was the end here. We'll even give you a little one here, folks. Oh man, now we got Bret the Hitman Hart. And as you can see, RagDas updated his model, so now he has wristbands and, or I should say wrist tape and the elbow pads, and it just makes his model look 20 times better. It's amazing what just, you know, adding and removing some of the wrist tape and arm things can do. Because Bret always looked a little off in Revenge. I think it's a cool, different kind of look, but it was always irritating to me that there was no choice in the matter. And like I said, I've gone on record about talking about how much I dislike the Revenge costume editing stuff. It was just the best they could do at the time, but man, oh man, this is just, you can't really do anything with it other than just creating weird, goofy costumes for characters. So obviously, you know, in WrestleMania 2000, you know, if you could have just added the elbow pads and wrist tape to Bret Hart if that was the case, but it is what it is. Thankfully, we got men like RagDas, you know, handsome gentlemen looking out for us in this way. Speaking of which, too, there's also another really awesome looking WrestleMania 2000. It's not. It's going to be like an equivalent. I think it's called like Starcade 2000 or something like that. Yeah, Starcade 2000, and it's going to be by AKI Station 64. So we haven't seen too much of it, but like I said, I would look up AKI Station 64's actual channel, and it's got like a few videos on like what he's planning, and it's still very basic and bare bones at this point. However, we have seen the Thunder and the WCW Nitro Arena, and he hasn't updated the entrance stage yet, but the actual arenas, like they're looking pretty awesome, and it's supposed to be like if Aki had continued working on WCW games instead of WWF games. So obviously, since it's based off of WrestleMania 2000, there's going to be the edit modes. There's going to be like the proper entrance music. It's got some new menu backgrounds from the looks of it too. And it looks like he has edited the arenas to be like G.M.Spectre, for example. He edits what's there, if that makes sense. For the best looking arena, it seems like he's actually this AKI Station 64 is making the arenas look as accurate as possible, adding new architecture, we'll say. Yeah, sorry if there's any background noise that's bothering you guys. I don't really have a choice for this episode, unfortunately. So hopefully it's not too distracting, but like I said, I'll say it again, AKI Station 64, you know, it could be another one that doesn't see the light of day. I hope that's not the case, but he has, you know, updated with his progress. It's still a long ways off, he said, but it's definitely a pretty exciting project to me. It's not quite WCW, NWO Revenge, and WrestleMania 2000, but I think it's something it's cool because it's unique. It's something different. It's going to be something to stand out on its own. So I'm all for it 110%. You know, if that gets released, I'm playing that day one or whatever day I figure out it's released. But I'm definitely not going to complain about any more kind of content for me to review and you know, games to play on this channel. And the thing I love about ROM hacks too, man, is just, I think some people complain about it, but more and more people are really starting to see how awesome the WrestleMania 2000 stuff is. And you know, I'm just so glad we got like the one with the season modes and stuff like that. And so that's what I'm kind of looking forward to in this upcoming AKI Station 64 WCW Starcade 2000 ROM hack. Which I am surprised. I feel like my guess as to why people aren't really doing ROM hacks of No Mercy as much. A, I don't know how complicated it is compared to like WrestleMania 2000, but also B, I feel like it's probably because people are intimidated because Retro Randy Price, like obviously he made WWF No Mercy Plus, so I feel like with that, it's probably something where people are, even if they want to build off of that, they're probably thinking to themselves, I mean, maybe we can't make anything as crazy or as impactful as, you know, Retro Randy Price has. I don't know. I mean, I think I really like Project Outsider, and that was built off of No Mercy Plus. And I'm looking forward to the update to that as well by G.M.Spectre. But I don't know. I've said it before. I'd love some sort of Ruthless Aggression era ROM hack, whether it be No Mercy or WrestleMania 2000. That'd be sweet. Friend of the channel, Fun with Cause. He really wants a TNA 2002 to 2008 ROM hack, and I think that'd be pretty sick, especially if they could have the 4-side ring and the 6-side ring. That'd be pretty awesome. But I think we'd probably just have to get 4-side, which is fine. I always forget that's what they started with in TNA, the early days. Alright, we're slowly building it up, folks. That's what you gotta do in these games, you know? You gotta build it up slowly. Take your time. Weaken your opponent down with wear down holds and whatnot, and then that's when you throw the kill switch down. Although as I'm describing all this, Chris Benoit's kicking my ass, so maybe not, we'll see. Alright, he's bleeding too. Let's see, how close are we? Not as close as I'd like. But maybe a finisher can put an end to that. Oh yeah, see, we got him, folks. See, that's the strategy we could have employed when it came to running grapples. Especially, I love how quick they are in this game. They take forever in VPW2 and No Mercy. Which is probably something, I don't know why they would be an issue with it, but maybe that's why, because they just couldn't figure out how to make them. They thought they were too overpowered, and that's why they didn't end up having those in this game. I don't know. But we are finally to the World Heavyweight Champion. And obviously, if you've seen my previous episode with the world title, you'd know it's Ric Flair. Slick Rick. The Nature Boy. The wheeling dealing son of a gun. Oh, he's looking like a son of a bitch right now. I also gotta say, this is a really good moveset for The Rock too. RagDas did his research. Yeah, oh god damn it. Guy's cocky there. I do love just all these added moves and taunts for The Rock in this game. Trust me, man, it's top notch. Although I prefer I don't really like his default costume in this game with the purple. Or the purple, I mean. The purple. Has anybody seen him with the purple trunks? I guess I wasn't even trying on that one, folks. That was a Beano Mac sandwich on that one. Alright, let's get some of these pins out of the way here. I think those definitely count. As long as I'm not the one who breaks up the pin, I think that counts towards his pin mechanic. So, just all for the best. God damn, I can't get an advantage on this dude. Ooh! That was definitely a Beano Mac sandwich that time. Alright. Wear down holds. Gotta go back to the basics here, folks. The fundamentals. You gotta break his root. Alright. Now we gotta figure out a way to get... Yeah, I didn't think so, pal. God damn it, that was a weak one, too. Alright. Not all is lost, not all is lost. Yeah. He just got back up. God, I hate this freaking stand-up mechanic in this game, man. Alright, we may have it here. What? Not even a count two. That's knocking butts. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. That's insane. No, I did a lot of hot dogging and grandstanding in this match to get my finisher. Alright then, I guess. I don't know what the hell's going on anymore. All I know is that I won. Yeah. Alright. Well, I think it's about time for my usual ending spiel here, fellas. So I'd just like to thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed, please like and subscribe to me, G.M.Spectre. Tomorrow's video will be my review of another RagDas ROM hack, Summit Virtual Pro Wrestling Gamma. Every Sunday I do comparison videos, character and mode evolutions, personal rankings, and more one-off videos. If you want to see a non-AKI wrestling game playthrough, check out my Kane Redemption run and WWE SmackDown Here Comes the Pain. And if you want non-wrestling playthroughs, subscribe to my Let's Play channel, Max, link in the description below. I play titles like Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Medieval, and The Family Guy, the video game. Above all else though, please remember to have a nice day.